Boker Tov, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Morning Torah. Rabbi Eric Solomon, Raleigh, North Carolina. Weird weather day. Got my Yankee hat on for the opening of the season. It's dramatic change in temperature here. We got even some hail this morning. Early Pesach gift. All right. Moshe, we're talking Pesach. We're gonna skip right through Parsha of the week, Metzora, dealing with leprosy or skin disease. We're moving right to the or issues of lesions and various things that grow on houses. Even we're moving to Pesach. It's so much there. Moshe was not born a great leader. We know Moshe had a very challenging childhood. In fact, in a sense, he's immediately born into a family that deals with potential genocide, anti-Semitism at its root. And his mother, to save his life, has to essentially abandon him. And he's raised by the daughter of Bat Paro. So that experience, we know at young ages, babies, children, they are defining, and even if not conscious. And so Moshe grows up in the palace, the confusion of who he is. We know the story. But one of the Moshe's challenges is he's looking out into the world, and he's confused on who he is. He sees slavery, sees a taskmaster issue. He ends up killing the taskmaster, Egyptian taskmaster, which why he has to flee. He is struggling with youthful exuberance, with righteous indignation, with is he Hebrew, is he Egyptian, that issue about justice, how does he respond? He is struggling with reading the society and what we call reading the room. How do I deal with what's going on here? What do I see? How do my actions affect other people? How do I put myself in the other person's place? And the real turning point where he begins to understand or learn how to read the room, which really reading the room, in my view, is basically saying, how do you put yourself in another person's shoes? When you walk into a social space, walk into an environment, the first thing a mature person does is not to barge right in and but read the room. What's going on here? Who's here? What are they experiencing? What's my place here? How will my words and my presence contribute, hopefully positively, to this situation? Well, I have to know. What are people's story? Why are they here? Who's uncomfortable? Who is comfortable? What's going on? What's going on? Can I read that? Do I have social awareness of myself and others? And the two stories that come to mind, both of them happen in Midian. Moshe goes and he's lost, and he was with Yitro, and I described before, he meets his wife Tzipora, and it's this identity crisis. But that identity crisis is where growth happens, because then he's called by God to go free back his own people, our people, the Hebrews, and free us from slavery. But in those moments, the two things that happen, one is in the Torah and one's in the Midrash. In the Torah, one's the burning bush. And now he's with the goats and the sheep, and he's a shepherd, and he sees the burning bush happening. Now, the see it happening, he's at it there. He's primarily doing a shepherd. But he's able to read the room, read the desert, read the wilderness, because he sees this bush, something's unique about it. He's paying attention, not just on his own struggles, which he has a right to, but on what's going on in the world. There's a miracle happening right there. He doesn't let it pass him by. He's reading and seeing, slowing down, getting out of his own stuff, and looking out into the world and reading it. And that's the moment where he gets called. But it could have passed him by if he didn't read the room. And the second piece is the Midrash. It talks about how did he get to the burning bush. It doesn't tell us in the Torah. It kind of says he was just kind of with the sheep. It doesn't describe in detail. So the Midrash explains that he was with the sheep and goats, and he's going around, and one goes farther away than the others. Well, he could have ignored it. He didn't have to see it, but he saw it, and he chased it down. And we discovered is that particular goat or sheep was drinking water from a small river, a tributary. And the Midrash tells us, then he says, I see you were thirsty. I didn't realize that. Let me let you have your water, and I'll bring you back to the flock. And that moment, Moshe realized that it's not just taking the sheep around for his own grazing, for his own needs, or maybe because his father-in-law made him. He's aware that the sheep are thirsty. And that he has to honor that and have compassion, rachmanis, on the sheep, and then bring them back. And so too, according to Midrash, that's why God chose Moshe at the burning bush, saying, you are chosen because you have that compassion, because you see the sheep, you see what they need. You're sensitive to that. You read them. You understood their neshamas and their pain and you're going to bring them back. So what's the point? Great leaders are not necessarily born. They grow into it, like Moshe, like all of us. And first step one towards growth is awareness of yourself, but awareness of what's going on around you. To put yourself in other people's shoes, even other animals' shoes, even in nature's shoes. To see, really slow down, breathe, and see what's going around and sense what's going around you. That is the first step towards leading others. You cannot lead others until you can put yourself in their position, till you can feel them, till you understand them. Then you can discover and decide and help guide how to lead them. It starts with compassion, understanding, empathy. Then you can grow, and then you can lead towards justice, God willing, freedom for all. It's Moshe, the one who could read the room, eventually. Wishing all a Shabbat Shalom, a safe, peaceful Shabbat. We also offer this Torah, sadly in honor of those in memory of those who were just recently killed in Israel, which is breaking my heart. May the terror cease. May there be peace not only there, but in all places. And may we all be able to read the room for each other and feel each other's souls in suffering, but also our joy. Shabbat Shalom and early Pesach Sameach.